Today I will teach you how to play the Sicilian Defense like a pro. But there are hundreds of different Sicilian Defense variations you can play, so I have decided to make a list of 5 of the best variations of the Sicilian Defense that you can play as black. So let's start with number 5. The Sicilian Con. In the Sicilian Con, after white has made their move, you play e6, opening up for the dark square bishop, and if white plays d4, which is the normal move, you just take and then play a6, followed by bringing your queen to c7. This queen move prevents white from playing e5 and puts the queen on a powerful square, and from here there are many different ways of continuing. The general idea though is to continue by developing your knights, your dark square bishop, and then castle. The Sicilian Con setup is a flexible opening with many different ideas for black. Either prepare to go d5 or go for a queen or king size expansion with your pawns and pieces and slowly outplay your opponent. Let's move over to variation number 4. Presenting the Scavening variation, or however it is pronounced. In this variation you play d6 instead of e6, which gives the light square bishop side instead of the dark square bishop. When they play d6, which really white always should play since it's the best move, you once again take and now play knight f6. After white plays their move, you play e6, and now you have a very solid position, and from here there are plenty of options you can go for, but the most safe approach is just to develop the dark square bishop and then castle, and once again make developing moves and either focus on making progress on the queen side or in the center. The Scavening is a great variation for someone who just wants to develop their pieces and castle in a safe manner and not fall into any tricks or traps, and then slowly either prepare for an attack or just improve your position in general. But let's now move on to number 3. Variation number 3 is the Vaishnikov variation. Another weird name. In this variation you will play knight c6 after white makes their move, and after trading in the center you will also develop your other knight to f6. Here white will probably play knight c3 to defend the pawn, but if white takes your knight you just take it back. Now you will play the move e5, forcing white to make a choice. Either go back, trade, or move your knight to b5, which is the most common move. This will be followed by you playing d6. Once they then make their move you play a6, attacking the knight, followed by b5, threatening a fork, and from here your plan is to either attack on the queen side or perhaps eventually try to go for f5 with a king side attack. But now let's go to number 2. Variation number 2 is the Sicilian Dragon. Finally a cool name. In the Sicilian Dragon you play d6, and after trading in the center you play knight f6, and now the special thing about this variation is that after white makes their move you will play g6, preparing to fianchetto the bishop and then castle the king. We all love fianchettos, so this is often a tempting variation for most people, including beginners, to learn, but I must warn you that this opening has a very deep theory. But that's not relevant unless you're a very strong, titled player, and I doubt those people watch my videos. Anyways, to keep it simple, from here you make sure you fianchetto and develop your pieces, and from here the most common idea for black is a queenside expansion, with a pawn storm, and if white castles on the queen side, which is the main line, this variation can lead to some beautiful attacking games, which is why it's not only an effective variation with a cool name, but also one of the funniest Sicilian variations to play. Let's move to number 1. One of the best Sicilian variations, an aggressive and famous one, which in fact was Bobby Fischer's main weapon as black. Presenting the Najdorf Sicilian. In the Najdorf you once again play d6. Do the trade and then play knight f6, and once your opponent makes their move, which probably is developing the knight, you play the move a6, really asking your opponent what they want to do from here. And once they make their move, which most often just is to develop their light square bishop getting ready to castle, you will play the move e5. Wherever they move your knight you then just develop your dark square bishop, then after they castle, you castle. Then when they make their move you develop your light square bishop, and eventually you develop your knight, and in compensation of you having a backwards pawn you have great piece activity, and your light square bishop is a beast for now. The Najdorf, just like the Sicilian Dragon, can lead to some beautiful games, and to further prove its strength, it has been in the repertoire of some of the best chess players throughout history, such as Garry Kasparov, Bobby Fischer, and Magnus Carlsen. It's worth noting as well that in this position if white pushes f4, which is common, you must take it, otherwise white gets a free big attack going. So these are some of the top 5 best Sicilian defense variations out there. I recommend you to pick one that seems most fitting to you and study it a bit deeper. Because it's better to master one variation rather than to be mediocre at many. It's worth noting that the Sicilian defense is an amazing opening to learn, no matter if you're 500 or 3000 elo. It's an effective opening at all levels of chess. So that's gonna wrap it up for now. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video and have a good one. Goodbye.